It is a red maple leaf.
I'm a very, very proud Canadian.
Richard Hastings has won it for Canada, who are through to the semifinals. Do you believe?
Seeing the growth of the sport here in Canada, I want to help take it to the next level.
This is where I come from. I still feel Canadian at heart. I think Canada can become a threat in CONCACAF and then obviously in the World Cup.
I wanted to put myself in the best position to prove to myself that, I'm good enough. I think it was definitely USA or bust.
Calgary is the town I grew up in until I moved away when I was 16 years old, and it's a beautiful city on the west coast of Canada. Hockey, Canada's very famous for their hockey teams and not really their football teams. I think Canada has potential to be a good soccer country, but there's just too many sports that are ahead of it.
Not so Canadian now, eh? This is the ugly side of Canadian men's soccer. Over the next quarter of an hour, we'll look at some of the problems that cause players to make these decisions and why these problems are happening. Players like Owen Hargreaves, Jonathan de Guzman, and even Asmir Begovic have been made to look the guilty party for far too long. Jonathan's brother Julian de Guzman played for the Canada men's team more than anyone, but Jonathan was only around to see how complicated the process was to make it to that stage. With the Netherlands, there is a clear path to the top. Follow A, B, C, put your best foot forward as you move up the ladder, and you will find yourself at the top soon enough. One of the problems identified with the Canadian setup in the past is the poor means to an end. Coaches have been put under pressure to win at the youth levels rather than develop the most precocious talents. As a result, they find it necessary to pick the best athletes at that age, rather than the most skillful. Hargreaves was rejected at the under-16 level in Canada because he was considered too small. Asmir Begovic was left out of the senior team loop despite playing for the under-20 team. He has since gone on to represent Bosnia at the World Cup while playing for one of the best English football clubs, Chelsea.
First to begin, if you look at the players that did that, they had the option and the ability to play for very influential countries, and the chances of playing in something like World Cup was very real.
Yeah.
Right? And what that also does is improve their own personal marketability, because after all, it's business first.
True.
That's the reality of it. It's business first. I mean, even Junior Hoylett and Steven Vittario, who decided to play for Canada last year.
Right.
When I was in charge, I tried to get them to come to Canada, and both of them thought he would play for Portugal, and the other thought he'd be potentially playing for England.
Yeah.
Right? So again, both were looking at their own marketability. Should they be able to play for those countries? And of course, you can't also put a price on the fact that the chances of playing in the World Cup are greater if you go and play for those countries. So to me, that's the real reason. Those sort of incentives of playing in a Euro and playing in a World Cup on a more consistent basis are big attractions, and of course it increases. I don't think so. I don't think so. It's all a matter of what's in it for. At the end of the day, players, it's going to be what's in it for me.
True.
What can I benefit out of this? And you have to remember that, I mean, players that come and play for Trinidad and play for Canada are called upon to come and play many internationals with a lot of travel involved and a lot of complications in the travel. And look at Justin Hoyt as an example. One club told him, we will sign you only if you decide not to play for Trinidad and Tobago anymore. Because things are like, traveling over long distances to go and play games, and then you have to travel economy and not first class. Does not sit well with clubs at all.
Right.
So, when players play for countries like Argentina and Brazil and those places, they travel executive class, and they are treated in a much different way than our players, who sometimes have to make 4 and 5 stopovers just to reach Trinidad and Tobago, and they travel in economy.
Alex Bunbury was the Canadian International Player of the Year in 1993 and 1995, during which he played for West Ham United in the English Premier League and Portugal's CS Maritimo in the Primeira Division. He became the Portuguese club's all-time leading goal scorer with 59 goals over a 6-year span. He has represented Team Canada 66 times on the international stage, scoring 16 goals over 11 years. Despite all those accomplishments, even the 8th most capped player in Canadian soccer history for the men's side couldn't stop his own son from choosing to play for Team USA at the senior level. Teal Bunbury played for both the Canada under-17 and under-20 teams, and was even once quoted as saying, "It would feel wrong to play for the US."
I've been asked that question on numerous occasions, and for me, it's never been a question for me to play for another country other than Canada.
Over the ball, Mitchell curves it far post, looking for Cutcliffe. Here's Onger Bunbury.
Because I learned to play soccer in Canada, even though my roots are from Guyana, which I'm proud of, and I'm Guyanese Canadian. So that never crossed my mind. But if, for whatever reason, when you take it all into perspective and you look at the landscape of it all, if you're a player and you have a chance of playing for England or Canada, or a bigger country that has a very good chance of making it to the World Cup, to play on the bigger stage. I think that is the caveat. That is the thing that drives most players, is that they want to be playing at the best possible stage available, and the World Cup is that. And whether I agree with it or not, one can understand that a player who's playing at his peak or playing at a high level and is given the opportunity to choose between Canada or England, one of the big countries that have a good shot making it to the World Cup, I would think that they would it would be a tough decision for them, and I think that would put a lot of stake on their decision making. That's what I personally think. I can't go into the minds of these players, but there's more to it than that too. Players are thinking of endorsements. They're thinking of all these things. Because their careers are not very long, so they want to take full advantage of it. So I think that has a toll on how someone would make a decision along those lines. Listen, if the bottom line is if for all the publicity or the public acknowledgement that Canada, US, and Mexico are bidding for the World Cup, and if that is to come to fruition, I would think that would entice a lot of players to want to honor or commit to Canada, and I think that's a driving force. Once again, everyone wants to play on that big stage, and I think that will give them the opportunity. So I think that would entice players to stay and commit themselves to Canada in the future. Yeah, definitely, most definitely.
this is an identification process that evolves all technical leaders across the country, and is done in different steps. This is probably step 3, and a step 4 of this process will be an international competition for 20 of top 80 in the country right now. But how it starts, we have a benchmark camp that starts the previous year. So we started this in 2015 in November, where we basically invite players of distinction from the already in place academies.
Diagonal.
Don't be offside. It serves for us to set the standard for what it's going to be, the U15 program. Then we collaborate, and we ask recommendations from all technical leaders across the country. We place 3 camps around the 3 major cities, and we bring those camps into the professional academies. So from there, we then select the top 20 players that you see here, plus the top 3 academies, MLS academies.
Recover! Jordan, got to recover! Repeat!
I'm Isaiah Johnston, and I live in Milton, Ontario, and I play for Milton Youth Soccer Club. The showcase is going great. I think it's a great way to see all the talent across Canada. We have some great players from all over, especially the Montreal boys. Great talents, and I'm happy to be playing with them.
Outside you, Chris! Outside you!
End of the day, top 80 kids across the country in one place, in one camp. And then, from here, the pinnacle of this project is international competition. So in the previous years, we took them to a tournament in Mexico where they play the likes of, Brazil, Mexico, US, Argentina, and you name it. It's a great eye-opener for those young kids, and a great measuring stick for us because we can see where they are, and then develop from there.
Showcases like these are exactly what's needed to entice young kids to keep developing domestically, and Alphonso Davies provides a glimmer into the future of what could be for Canada. The 16-year-old recently starred for the national side at the Gold Cup, winning the Golden Boot after scoring 3 goals in 4 matches. He also became the first player born in the 2000s to play an MLS match when he made his debut for the Vancouver Whitecaps. Davies was born in Buduburam, a refugee camp in the central region of Ghana, before moving to Windsor, Ontario in 2006. He received his Canadian citizenship in June of 2017, and by playing for the senior team already, he cannot represent any other country. Perhaps this is the way forward. Identify top talent at a young age, continue to make the domestic opportunities appealing, and play them at the senior level as soon as possible.